In Strengths, we shall activate joy. Welcome to the Strengths and Joy podcast. Your host is Joy Lane. She's a superpower activator, and she's on a mission to empower leaders and entrepreneurs to accelerate their business performance by impacting positive leadership, sustainable performance, and well-being. How? By using the best of positive psychology and the Joy method. Joy has a background in positive organizational psychology, and the top superpowers are mission, drive, growth, and strategy. With these, she strives to inspire you with practical and science-based strategies. This show is made possible with the support of our sponsor, SuperPact.Asia. We all have our unique blend of superpowers. Now it's time to discover, activate, and amplify these strengths for the flourishing of selves and organizations. And now, it's time to jump right in with your host, Joy Lane.
Hello there. In Strengths, we shall activate joy. I'm Joy, and welcome back to the Strengths and Joy podcast. This is episode 3, part 1 of the Be Well series. Today, we're going to explore what is hope and how we can maintain and improve our well-being using hope with simple research-based tools and techniques offered by applied positive psychology. This is a 14-part Be Well series in support of the World Health Organization call to physical distancing and staying home. Stay home and stay in alignment with your well-being. Be supported by our Be Well series. This Be Well series is derived from the inspired acronym of Humanity United. In this pandemic where we are experiencing currently, many of us are experiencing different effects from the vigilance demanded for safety, the hypertension in the air, and the physical distancing required to contain the virus. It is so easy to fall prey to anxiety and depression. Embedded in this Be Well series is the gentle reminder to all of us that at the end of the day, it is humanity united. Whatever it is that you are experiencing, we are all going through it together in one way or another. We are feeling your feelings. We hear the same fears whispering in our minds. We have similar unsettled sensations in the body, and it is okay. We are going to go through it together. Humanity united. The best of human functioning can be studied scientifically and replicated in hopes of creating more of the best. One of the best part about being human and what differentiates us from other species is the ability for hope. In this COVID-19 crisis, I feel deeply comforted and inspired to start our Be Well series with the topic of hope. Let's begin with hope. Diving right in. What is hope to you? What is the difference between wishing and hoping? Are they one and the same? Is hope just an emotion? In the eyes of positive psychology, wishing and hoping are not the same. There are distinct and important differences between the two. I did a quick informal survey about what hope means to individuals. Thanks to those who has responded, I received input such as hope is the driver of vision. Hope is a feeling of accomplishment. Hope is life looking forward or ahead. Hope stands for hold on, pain ends. Hope equates with possibility and opportunity. When you wish for something, you are having a fantasy of perhaps a miracle occurring without any effort on your part. According to Professor Rick Snyder, hope, on the other hand, is the positive cognitive state where successful goal-directed thinking combines with the planning and the motivation to meet those goals. Professor Rick Snyder was an American psychologist and a pioneer in the field of positive psychology. He created the hope theory, which mainly comprised of 4 key components: goals, pathway thinking, agency thinking, and barriers. Let's have an uplifting start to our discussion on hope. I would like to share a beautiful analogy by Professor Snyder. And if you can't, I would encourage you to repeat after me. A rainbow is a prism that sends shards of multicolored light in various directions. It lifts our spirits and makes us think of what is possible. Hope is the same, a personal rainbow of the mind. Hope is the same, a personal rainbow of the mind. Breathe that in. Beautiful and illuminating. Now, let's explore deeper the four components of the hope theory. Firstly, goals. Goals that are valuable and uncertain are the anchors of hope theory as they provide direction and an endpoint for hopeful thinking. These goals must be desirable enough for you to want to take actions towards it. While there might be some uncertainty towards achieving your goal, you believe that these goals are achievable when due diligence and effort are applied. Secondly, pathways thinking. Pathway thoughts refer to the routes you take to achieve your desired goals and your perceived ability to produce these routes. Pathway thoughts can be affirming internal self-talk, such as, I'll find a way to get this done. Newborn babies undertake pathways thinking immediately after birth in order to understand and to obtain a sense of what goes with what, meaning they try to understand what events seem to be correlated in time with each other. Additionally, at approximately 1 year of age, the baby realizes that he or she is separate from other identities, including the caregiver. This important process, called psychological birth, is very insightful for the baby because he or she suddenly realizes that he or she can cause chain of events to happen. This psychological birth and instigator lessons contribute to a sense of personal agency. Likewise, as an adult, maintaining and using this sense of personal agency to acquire goal-directed, hopeful thoughts are crucial for surviving and thriving. Pathway thoughts are the routes we act on our sense of agency to achieve our personal goals. Thirdly, agency thinking. Agency thoughts refer to the motivation you have to undertake the routes towards your goals. It is the motivational aspect of the hope theory. Your perceived capacity to use your pathways to reach desired goals. It refers to self-talk such as, I can do this, and I'm not going to be stopped. Agency thinking is important in goal-directed thoughts. It becomes especially significant when you encounter hindrance to your goals. Agency thinking helps you to apply the required motivation to the best alternate pathway. Finally, barriers. Barriers are the obstacles that block the attainment of your goals, and in the event of a barrier, you can either give up or you can use your pathway thoughts to create new routes. To keep things simple, pathway are the routes to your destination, the recommended routes on Google Maps to your goal, and your confidence level to reaching your destination. Agency is your motivation to act. Pathway is the route and your level of confidence. Agency is motivation. Just a fun way of remembering hope theory. Think of PBAG. P back. Pathway, barriers, agencies, goals. How do you know how much hope do you have besides feeling the sensation of hope? There are various scientific tools that can measure hope. One such scale is the Adult Dispositionary Hope Scale. However, to bear in mind that this scale measures an individual's general or characteristic level of hope. To address that, we also have the Adult State Hope Scale, which assesses goal-directed thinking in any given moment or situation. The good news is the State Hope Scale is the giveaway for this Be Well series episode. The Adult State Hope Scale assesses goal-directed thinking in any given moment or situation, ranging from definitely false to definitely true. What do you think of the following sentences? I can think of many ways to get out of a jam. I energetically pursue my goals. There are lots of ways around any problem that I am facing now. Right now, I see myself as being pretty successful. I can think of many ways to reach my current goals. At this time, I am meeting the goals that I have set for myself. These are statements from the State Hope Scale that you can do, after which you can add up the different items to generate your pathway sub-scale score, your agency sub-scale score, and your total hope score. These scores will give you a concrete way of using science to help you have a realistic assessment of where you are in your life currently in relation to hope and where specifically you should pay attention to increase hopeful outlook in your life. Research has found significant positive correlations with hope and problem solving. It has also found that high hope people engages in more preventative behavior, meaning they are more proactive. For instance, if you have the intention of following through with the next 14 episodes and maybe even take up the Be Well free course subsequently to work on improving your well-being, your behavior will suggest that you're probably in the category of high hope people because you are being proactive. Coping using hope. Given the current pandemic background, I feel the need to address how we can use hope to cope. Coping is the ability to effectively respond to a stressor so as to reduce psychological and physical pain. In simple terms, a stressor is whatever that is hindering your happiness at the moment. It could be your limited freedom for now, or the heavy feeling you wake up to every morning. The key is to find a pathway to go back to as much normalcy as you can. For instance, I always recommend sticking to a routine. Treat weekdays like weekdays, going about your work in your weekday routine. Treat weekends like weekends, spending weekend nights watching movie with your family, as you have always done, or reading the Bible on Sunday morning, even if you cannot attend church for the time being. Use routine as a pathway, a method to cope. Routine is comforting for your brain. It indicates that all is as well as it can be, and no danger, no tigers is lurking in a corner waiting to attack you. Your nervous system is allowed to calm down so that you can function. What other ways can you use routine to cope? When confronted with a stressor, high hope people produce more strategies for dealing with the stressor. That's pathway thinking right there. And they are also more likely to use these strategies that they have thought of. That's taking the initiative, having the motivation to act. What are some of the stresses that you are experiencing at the moment? Take a minute and list them down. You cannot address what you are not bringing to your awareness. High hopes persons are also more likely to find benefits in their ongoing dealings with stresses. We have all heard about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. But did you know that there is also PTG? It stands for post-traumatic growth. Yes, people can develop PTSD after a trauma, but that's just looking at life trials and tribulations from just one side of the coin. Many people also experience post traumatic growth from experiencing crisis and trauma. In fact, that is what makes humanity stronger as a species and each individual stronger and better than before. In my autobiography, From Zero to Shakti, I experienced tremendous growth when I decided to give up my victim stories and to reframe my childhood challenges as learning points that I can use to grow and to propel my future success. I use agency thinking by transforming my victim stories into strengths-based identity. I took specific action steps, creating pathways to reinforce my strengths-based stories. In this virtuous upward spiral process, I created hope for myself. When was a time in your life when you have done something similar for yourself? When have you experienced post-traumatic growth? Now, this well-being series serves no meaning if you're not going to take action to address the areas that need to be worked on to improve your well-being. All these research findings is meaningless too if we're not going to apply it into applicable action steps that can benefit and support you. I'm a coach, and one of my superpowers is being an activator. So I'm going to insist that you get right into action with me right now. Grab 2 sheets of paper and pen and do the following. If it is not convenient, make sure you come back to this part of the episode and do the exercise. Say yes. Leave a space on top of your sheet of paper. Next, draw 3 columns, 2 vertical lines somewhere in the middle of the page. On the left column, write the heading, Pathways. In the middle column, write the heading, Obstacles. And finally, in the right column, write the headings, Strengths and Resources. What is the goal that you want to work on? What is the best goal to work on at the moment for your well-being? We want to channel your goal-directed energy to focus on pathways that can help you increase hope so that it becomes a self-generating upward spiral for you. Declare your goal on top of the sheet. Intention is everything. Let's start with the right column, your strengths and resources. What are your strengths? What resources do you have at hand? List them down. What are you really good at? Is it being a planner or a sense of curiosity? Strategies? What are you known for? What would your loved ones describe as your strengths? List them down. Next, grab your second sheet of paper and a timer. We're going to brainstorm. Brainstorm all possible ways to achieve your goal. Allow your creative juice to flow. No judgment. Crazy ideas are allowed here. Let your ideas run wild for 2 minutes and list it all down. Once that's done, look through your ideas. How many did you write? Give yourself a pat on the back. Good job there. Now, let's scrutinize it and give it a look through. Circle 3 to 5 ideas which are most realistic to you. Go back to the first sheet of paper and list those solutions that you have circled. Write it down on the left column with the heading Pathways. We have your goals, we have listed your strengths and resources, and we have a few potential solutions. Very good going there. Now, we need to prepare beforehand and predict what are the potential obstacles that might come your way. Look at the solutions that you have listed. Now write down what might hinder your progress, what might hinder as you use these solutions. Leave some space after penning down each obstacle. Finally, let's go back to your strengths and resources. This is your super power bank. These are skills, talents, abilities, virtues, and resources that you have readily, that energizes you, that you are good at. We want to capitalize on your superpowers. Under each obstacle that you have just listed, write down how you can use your superpowers to address this obstacle. Be innovative with it. Finally, revisiting each obstacle, think of what are the solutions that you might want to add on to it. Also, any missing resources and avenues of help that you can tap on. Besides using your own strengths, whose strengths can you tap on as well? What needs to be done? What else? Perhaps some information gathering is needed, some experimentation. Whatever it is, note it down. Congratulations, you've just done your first hope-filled action plan. How are you feeling? Hopeful, I hope. Whenever you want to activate the power of hope to support your goals and well-being, this is an exercise that you can do again. If you have not gotten round to doing the exercise, make sure you listen to this episode again and pause where needed to complete your exercise. Remember, high hope people uses pathway and agency thinking and take action. We have come to the end of our episode on hope. Let's summarize what we have discovered. Hope is the positive cognitive state where successful goal-directed thinking combines with the planning and the motivation to meet those goals. Goals that are valuable and uncertain but deemed achievable are the anchors of hope theory, as they provide direction and an endpoint for hopeful thinking. Pathway thoughts is the routes that we take to achieve our desired goals and our perceived ability to produce these routes. Agency thoughts is the motivation we have to undertake the routes towards our goals. Barriers are the obstacles that block the attainment of our goals, and in the event of a barrier, we can either give up or we can use our pathway thoughts to create new routes. PBAC stands for Pathway, Barriers, Agency, Goal. High hope people engages in more preventative behavior, meaning they are more proactive. Coping is the ability to effectively respond to a stressor so as to reduce psychological and physical pain. The key to coping is to find a pathway to go back to as much normalcy as you can. High hope people produce more strategies and are more motivated to act on strategies to deal with stress. High hopes people find benefits in their ongoing dealings with stress and experience post-traumatic growth. A rainbow is a prism that sends shards of multicolored light in various directions. It lifts our spirits and makes us think of what is possible. Hope is the same, a personal rainbow of the mind. Remember to join our Facebook group to share what insights you had from this episode. There is power in accountability. Share with us your results from taking the hope skill and what inspired actions you're going to take. Go to Facebook, search for Strengths and Joy Podcast Group. Together we can support each other's well-being. We are looking for more Be Well and On Connect ambassadors who can share how they are taking care of their well-being and how they are using technology to stay connected with family and friends and for personal growth and development. So do like our We Are Healthy, Well and Connected Facebook page, and better still, be our ambassador. This podcast is a free resource and is our labor of love. Much time, research, and effort have been put into it in hopes of adding positivity and joy in your life. Please pass the blessings along by giving us reviews and sharing it with your community. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel too. Remember to email to superpactasia@gmail.com if you would like to have a copy of the State Hope Scale. Email too if you would like to be notified for the upcoming Be Well Free online course when it is launched, superpactasia@gmail.com. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will dive into the alphabet U of the Humanity United acronym and discover how to use agency and self-efficacy to enhance our well-being. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. People living strengths-based lives goes beyond. They thrive. May you always build rainbows in your mind. In strengths, we activate joy. Till the next episode, be healthy, be well, and stay connected. This is Joy, signing off. Peace.
This episode of Strengths and Joy podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, SuperPact. For free resources and materials, head on over to www.superpact.asia. In Strengths, we shall activate joy.